Have you ever imagined something as extraordinary as the routine of astronauts in outer space? Think about it. Everyone needs to wash clothes, but how does someone do it when they are hundreds of kilometers above Earth, floating without gravity, with limited resources and without the slightest chance of simply throwing clothes in a washing machine? It is a fascinating mystery that shows how life outside our planet requires creativity and, above all, courage to face seemingly trivial challenges that become gigantic up there. And it is not just about the clothes themselves, but also about the logistics of supplies, garbage, water consumption. In short, every detail counts to keep the International Space Station running without failures. The curious thing is that, on the ISS, International Space Station, there is no special washing machine, not even something similar to those compact washing machines we see here on Earth. Space itself is a scenario where every centimeter and every gram needs to be planned very carefully. It is not possible to fill the station with large and heavy appliances, because the costs and risks of sending cargo outside the planet are astronomically high. So, how did they solve this dilemma? Well, the first idea was to use the clothes as much as possible, alternating pieces so that they would last as long as possible. But, of course, not everything is perfect. After a while, the pieces simply become impractical to wear, whether due to sweat, odor, or natural wear and tear. And what happens next? Most of the waste, including clothes, is stored in cargo capsules that do not return to Earth. They are programmed to burn in the atmosphere, taking all the accumulated waste with them at once, including dirty clothes that have already served their purpose. We can mention, for example, astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, who faced an unexpected hardship when their stay in space extended much longer than expected. Imagine leaving home with only a week's worth of clothes and suddenly having to wear the same items for months. While for us, on Earth, all we have to do is put in some washing powder and turn on the machine, up there this resource does not exist. They had to be extremely creative, wearing the clothes several times, airing them out, taking care not to get them dirty for no reason, and still managing to maintain the minimum level of comfort and hygiene. When these clothes reach the limit of what is usable, they go to a special garbage pantry, waiting for the next supply capsule that, on its return, re-enters the atmosphere and burns without leaving a trace. This strategy of incinerating clothes in the atmosphere is efficient in terms of space and weight, but it raises some questions about the future of space travel, especially when we talk about long-term missions to the Moon or Mars. After all, on these trips, every resource is precious, including water. We can't simply carry gallons and gallons of clean water to wash clothes. The cost would be enormous and would make many projects unfeasible. In addition, there is the factor that, on very long missions, a system for cleaning clothes would be more than useful. It would be essential for the well-being and health of the crew. Have you ever thought about living for years in a place without being able to wash anything? It's a problem that requires innovative solutions that go beyond simply reusing clothes until they become unwearable. And that's where some very promising ideas come in. Large companies, such as Procter & Gamble, manufacturer of Tide products, in partnership with NASA, have been studying special detergent formulas that could be used in zero gravity, using little water and little energy. Tide Infinity, for example, was designed without fragrances or solvents, precisely so that the water could be reused without causing contamination or problems in the ISS's life support system. There were even tests in 2021 on the space station to check the consistency and how the product would behave in a weightless environment. And in 2023, on the CHAPEA mission, an analog of Mars, this detergent was used to wash clothes with less energy and water consumption. Have you ever thought about if this technology could also be applied here on Earth, making our washing process much more sustainable? In addition, Tide to Go wipes and pens have also appeared, which have been tested to remove stains from coffee, olive oil, punch, and even sriracha in space. Imagine how vital this type of quick cleaning can be, When we are talking about an environment where every drop of water is precious and all waste must be managed rigorously. For NASA, these solutions are a step towards a future where, who knows, we might even have a mini washing machine working on the lunar surface or in a Martian colony. The problem is still far from being completely solved, but each test and each research represents a considerable advance in bringing more comfort and hygiene to astronauts. And, of course, it shows how human ingenuity has no limits when it is motivated by great challenges. In this sense, dreaming of a space washing machine may not be so absurd. Some projects have even been outlined to allow a washing system that, at the same time, reconditions and reuses water. After all, in long-duration missions, it will probably be unfeasible to follow the current method of simply burning clothes. On Mars or the Moon, the lack of resources would make this even more complicated, as everything has to be designed in closed cycles of reuse, even to generate fuel savings and ensure the sustainability of extraterrestrial bases. Although there is nothing ready and functional today, what is being discussed is the possibility of creating compact machines that use steam, low-contamination detergents, and vacuum processes to sanitize the parts. A huge challenge, but completely possible with technological evolution. In the midst of all this, we realize how ingenious life in space is. From carefully choosing the amount of clothing each astronaut can take, to establishing protocols for how to dispose of each item, everything is designed to ensure that nothing is wasted and that the mission remains safe. It is interesting to see how something so simple for us, down here, requires complex and sophisticated planning up there. This reality makes us reflect on the importance of reuse, recycling, and sustainable solutions here on Earth as well. After all, if they do everything they can to minimize waste and save resources abroad, why not apply this mentality to our daily lives on our own planet? The lives of astronauts teach us much more than just science and technology. They show us how discipline, resilience, and adaptability are essential to overcoming challenges. In space, every drop of water is valuable, every piece of clothing needs to be used to its fullest, and every decision has consequences. But if we stop to think about it, it's not that different from what we face here on Earth. How many times do we waste water without thinking? How many clothes do we throw away unnecessarily? Just as astronauts must be extremely conscious of their resources, we must also learn to value what we have and seek more sustainable alternatives for our daily lives. And this awareness doesn't need to be limited to material things. And now I want to hear your opinion on this very interesting topic. Do you think that, in the near future, we will have fully functional washing machines in space? Do you think that the innovations tested there can help make our lives more sustainable here on Earth? Leave your comment below, share your ideas, and, of course, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with more fascinating stories like this one. Your participation is very important to strengthen our community. Thank you very much for being with us until now and until the next video.